Hey, it's SickBoy from the Gaminganarchist Collective, and welcome to the Anarchic Eye for November the 14th, 2013. The PlayStation 4 launches tomorrow in the US. Now, early units have been shipped. From what I can tell, around 5,000 came from a Taco Bell promotion where you could get the machine early, and of course there are some cases where journalists have got hold of copies of the machines. Now, there have been cases of severe hardware issues due to the HDMI port being faulty, and those cases do appear to be isolated. It's not necessarily widespread. There appears to be somewhere in the region of single-digit confirmed cases of this happening. Now, Sony have said they're on it, they're looking at it, they believe it's an isolated incident, and they will deal with it. Now, of course, lo and behold, this is going to happen with all kinds of things. You know, the same with the red light of death, same with the yellow light of death, same with the PSN being hacked, same when Xbox Live was hacked and they didn't tell anybody about it and they suddenly had to admit that they had been hacked. You know, there will be these cases of braying and things. It's a console war. They want people to argue and bicker and fight rather than actually be looking at whether they're getting shafted. Now, I am not so sure this is a widespread issue, but it is something that's happening. So if you've pre-ordered a day one PlayStation 4, be aware there may well be a hardware issue. There was also a case of where someone said they bricked it while downloading the patch, but it turned out they pulled out the plug during the download. Now, there of course will be issues. This is the problem with being an early adopter. There will be teething problems. There will be bricked devices. That happens. It's happened with the previous console launch. It has always happened with big hardware releases. Things go wrong. New iPhone comes out, there are problems. They have to patch it, they have to upgrade it, they sometimes have to replace hardware. This is something that happens. So it's your risk of being an early adopter. If you've got one pre-ordered, I sincerely hope you don't have any problems with it, because that would just deeply, deeply suck. Well, I'm not going to call conspiracy theory on this, but I would like to just bring it out there, being as how things are going viral as they are, and they will continue to go viral, that Microsoft has at least 1,000 paid trolls online in order to do viral marketing for both the Xbox and also to try and tank the PlayStation 4. This is standard shoddy business practice that happens with certain companies. Now, I don't really believe Sony has this kind of behaviour. It's not really a Japanese business thing, but it sure as fuck is an American business thing. So it's something to bear in mind that until there is confirmation of any particular issue, any particular great thing about one machine or a bad thing about another, bear in mind, paid trolls exist, they are out there, they are trying to get your money. Be sure what you're investing in before you do it. Well, much as I announced the other day with the Xbox One, the PlayStation 4 install size. Now, the day one launch titles are going to take up 319 gigabytes of the 500 gigabyte hard drive, out of which only 409 gigabytes are actually available for installs. So just bear that in mind again. Your average AAA game on the next-gen systems are coming in between 35 and 50 gigabytes. Okay, that is the early launch titles. Now, bear in mind that these hard drives on the default machines are 500. Now, there will certainly be both releasing versions later down the line with multiple terabyte hard drives. That is an absolute given, much as they did with the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. They both came out with minimal hard drive space, and by the end they had over tenfold the size of hard drive. But there's something we need to bear in mind. If you are an early adopter, if you're an early launcher, and you are looking to have that machine as is for all eternity. Now, the Xbox One does allow you to have external hard drives, the PlayStation 4 does not. That's going to mean that if you buy your games digitally, you don't have very much space to store them. And when the PSN gets shut down, as with Xbox Live, with both of these machines, if you insist on buying your AAA games digitally on your console, right now, with high-speed internet, you should be able to uninstall your game. Certainly on the PlayStation 4, it's proven that you can install Call of Duty Ghosts, and you can be playing it within 25 seconds, unlike the sort of 25 minutes as is happening on the Xbox One. So it can install quick and it can stream the game with only a small amount installed. But when these servers are down, and these servers will be down at some point in the future, and you own digital games, you are going to have to make a choice as to what games you continue to have, if they even are available offline, if they haven't got some kind of cloud patch in there in order they need to run online in order to function. So if you've got your game discs, you're okay. You can uninstall your games until your hard drive dies, and as long as all your patches and things are on your machine, you're fine, you're set. You can continue to play your games going forward after the servers are shut down in the future. With digital games, you do not have that option. You will be forced to pick and choose what games you want to keep. Granted, now that may be sometime down the line. That'll be somewhere between 6 and 10 years. But it will come. And if you have any interest in keeping what you buy, you should really bear that in mind. Well, Ryan Bernard from Ubisoft's Massive, who is working on Tom Clancy's The Division, which is a post-apocalyptic multiplayer survival game, because God knows we need more of them, has, however, come up with a terrific point that I'm glad developers are seeing. He has said that people do not like... He said about being scared. I don't believe it's about being scared. But a lot of people don't like going online. They don't like playing online. They don't like talking to people online. Certainly not in cooperative games, because they don't want to be screamed at by some 12-year-old about what they've done with your mother. And that's a very true point. It's not enjoyable. If you're playing a deathmatch kind of mode, you're playing a, an FPS deathmatch, then, a bit of shouting and bantering. It's a competition. But when you're playing something along the lines of Grand Theft Auto, say, it's meant to be an open world, say GTA Online, it's just full of shouting twats. So what they want to do with The Division is to make it so that there is a real community in the game. Now, this game's coming current gen and next gen and PC. Now, I'm very glad to hear that they've got this standpoint. I don't know whether the game's going to be any good. Of course, it's nowhere near coming out. It's not going to be out for a wee while yet, but it does have some significantly interesting ideas that they're saying that a lot of developers don't want to withhold any secrets in the game because they don't want gamers having to talk to each other, because of course the toxic environment with regards to idiocy online, and they want to make sure that it is a coherent, enjoyable social experience. Thank you, Ryan. That is a terrific point of view. I'm glad you share it, and I'm glad you took the time in your interview to talk about this and see what you can do as a developer to create a better online community. Well, I was rejoicing as a Monster Hunter fan yesterday. For a good few seconds I was absolutely elated to discover that Monster Hunter 4, the game that is the best-selling Capcom game of quite some time, I believe it's sold something like 2.3 million units from September to now, and for that is doing very, very well. That makes it twice as successful as Devil May Cry was. It makes it far more successful than Lost Planet was. It's been the most successful Capcom game since, sadly, Resident Evil 6. It has done very, very well, and I'm very glad to see that it has. That's terrific. And then I discovered it's coming to South Korea, which is nice for the South Koreans. You know, they like their RPGs, they like their video games. Capcom. Why do I have Monster Hunter 3? Why did I buy this game? Why did this game sell incredibly well? Why did this game shift a shitload of 3DS bundles? Do you know why? Because it's popular. You dumbasses. Pull your head out of your arse. Stop releasing shitty westernised games that are no good. Do what you're good at. You should be a company that is remembered for creating Mega Man and then burying it. For creating Resident Evil. More recently, Dead Rising. Creating so many iconic Street Fighter, for fuck's sake. You own so many iconic IPs. Monster Hunter being one of them. Stop being a tosser and don't even dare say you're going to bring it over and do it with your bloody Ace Attorney by ruining it, sending it out in a digital format. I want my cartridge. Don't be a twat. Release Monster Hunter 4 in the West. Stop being an asshole. Anyway, guys, you're looking through the 2020 vision of the Anarchic Eye. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll catch you guys later.